tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So today is a perfect day to be out doing donuts in the snow. Unfortunately, I swapped the carburetor out on this Honda 200S, let's call it that, and it just hasn't run right. It's really running, how does one say, like dookie. So I want to go through some troubleshooting with you guys. I'm going to do a bunch of things on this carburetor. The characteristics, the symptoms are starts right up, typically on the first pull. So you're going, oh, what's the problem? But then it seems to run both lean and rich. If you don't keep the choke on at least one click, it seems to run lean. But then as you're opening it up and running it, it seems to drift its way toward rich. So there could be a bunch of things wrong with it. In some respects, it seems like a vacuum leak. In some respects, it seems like a bad spark plug. In some respects, it seems like water in the gas. In some respects, it seems like perhaps the timing is doing something a little strange. And by the way, there might be more than one thing wrong with this. So why don't we go through it and we'll check a whole load of things and we'll see which one is causing the problem. I think one of the first things we should be looking at is this whole gas line situation. I kind of jammed this on here, and this piece of hose I just kind of forced up into here, which kind of narrows the gap. I do have a screen gas filter on there, but this bend down here is pretty tight, and this hose is pretty thin. So it might have, one of its problems might be a gas flow issue, right? I might not be getting as much fuel as I need, and we'll correct that when we put the whole thing back together again. Okay, let's talk vacuum leaks. The first possible vacuum leak is right up here against the head. And if you look at this flange here, this is completely flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a paper gasket there. And if you guys take a look, I put a paper gasket in between. This is one of those China carburetors, PZ27 clones, and the manifold. I think that helped it run a little bit better, but it still wasn't completely proper. Hence the reason why I'm making this video. Now I put the paper gasket here because if you take a look at this, this is your typical China carburetor. And this is a PZ30, but it doesn't matter, they're all like this. See how thin this is here and thin this is there? You're really counting on the O-ring, and the O-ring is nothing great. So what I'd like to do is I cut out a paper gasket, as you guys could see there, and up against the manifold, what I do is I put the gasket there, and you can see that brown stuff. That's that Permatex Forma gasket. On the other side, up against the paper, between this O-ring and the paper, I just oil this O-ring, put it on, tighten it up, and typically I get like a really, really good seal. So that's what I'm gonna do here also, right? Looks like they put a little something here, but doesn't look like it worked all that well. So I'm going to fix that up. While I have the carburetor off though, I'm also going to rebuild it. But before I do, I want to drop the bowl and see if there's any water in it. Just for the sake to see if that possibly is a problem. When I start it up and run it, I'm probably going to do it with a remote gas tank, just in case there's something going on with that. There's a fuel flow problem. So anyway, let me get the carburetor taken apart, then we'll go forward. So this was a brand new carburetor when I put it on, and if you kind of look through the gasoline, you see all that stuff in the bottom of the bowl. That's not a good sign, right? I mean, Why is it there all that brown in there? It should be silver all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to put this in a environmentally safe place, the gasoline that is, and then we'll see what that is on the bottom. Well, I'm not thinking that was helping matters at all. I mean, you see that? It's all those like globule type things. I don't know. Cat hunked up a fur ball and dropped it in my carburetor. Considering I have that fine mesh filter on there, I'm actually, and I don't see anything in it. I'm really kind of surprised. I'm not sure what that is. It's cold out. I don't know. In here it's 35 degrees. Put just my fingers on this. Maybe those are ice globs also. Anyhow, no matter what, whether it's water in the bottom of the carburetor or, you know, a cat ball in the bottom of the carburetor, none of that belongs in there. So we'll clean that up and we'll give the carburetor cleaning, right? We'll clean out the two jets, run some air through the passages, some clean dry air, and hopefully that straightens the carburetor out. So we've already found a few things, right? Couple of possible vacuum leaks, carburetor full of swill, right? And it probably could use a new spark plug. I'd say if you put all those things together, there's a good chance that it won't run right. So here we have it. Obviously, right, you got to take the carburetor off. You want to rebuild it. So that's been cleaned out. Now taking a look at the jets. Right, there's you want to make sure you have light coming through it. Yeah, you guys could see that, which is good. And there's one on the bottom. You could see that, which is good. And you could see that. So the personality of this thing, it does seem to run okay when you're running through the main jet, which is accelerating and so forth. So if you look at the low speed jet, right, this one's a little different than I'm used to seeing. Normally this guy has holes in it and it doesn't. But if you kind of look down there, I think you guys could see it, right? It's got globs in it. But if you look through the center, you could see it's clear. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not in love with this kind of jet. I attempted to take this apart, and it won't come apart easily. And I'd rather not booger this all up. I think I'm just going to give it one more attempt with perhaps a small set of vice grips. So anyway, that obviously is a problem. You know, then I'm going to take this out. Normally, once I get all the jets out of the body, I go outside and run carburetor fluid cleaner through it, just jet it through all the holes and ports and so forth. The other thing I've done, if you look at this, this is really flat, and I'm sure I had a vacuum leak here, especially there's a couple of high spots, right? It might not have settled itself all the way down. So now what I'm going to do with it is I'm actually on this slippery side. I'm going to put some the former gasket, the Permatex stuff, and I'm going to glue it right on here. And then on this side, the side that goes up against the engine, I'm just going to oil this and put it up against the intake of the engine, and that should hold that up. So anyway, I'm going to spend a few minutes trying to get this carburetor the rest of the way clean, and then we'll go out, smash it on, and hopefully go forward. If I see anything else, I'll shoot video, but once again, that comes out, solvent through it. Obviously, I'm going to take that out, shoot solvent through it. This is already out, shoots just, you know, run solvent through all the ports, right? Make sure everything's nice and clean. A lot of people ultrasonic carburetors, and even though I own an ultrasonic cleaner, there's probably more than one of them down here somewhere, I've never really gotten into the habit of using them. Maybe it's lack of patience on my part, right? I don't want to wait, or you know, I'm just got used to the solvent, and it's always kind of worked for me, so that's what I use. So the carburetor cleaning is done. I've seen them a lot worse than that, but anyway, it's done. You guys could see that I've also gummed this up well, so hopefully the gasket will stick to it. I just have it drying in the sun right now. Well, I guess it's about 36 in here, so hopefully it dries tacky, and then I can put the gasket on. We'll smash it all back together again and see if this thing will run. The gasket is all oiled up and ready to go. Okay, this is a very cold start. I haven't pulled the strings since I put the carburetor on. I mean, it is just cold. And I'm curious to what it wants to do. Supposedly everything should be peaked up just right. Where's my choke? Choke is on. First pull. Let's see what she does. Idles up a little bit. Obviously cold, but I'm kind of need a seat, eh? Let's take it out cold, then we'll get the choke turned off. Ride it for real. So this is kind of the warm-up. I gotta tell you, it's already better. Boy, we got all kinds of tracks out here. You guys can see I got my portable gas can.
100 times better, but I'd also say this this carburetor is not what it should be. Not all the carburetors that come from China are good. You guys saw right up front, this carburetor had junk in it. It appeared to be built right, but it doesn't seem to be 100%. I'm probably going to leave it on there for now, but I'm going to remember this carburetor just is not great. So, you know, not everything you get from China is 100%. Once again, I think it's 100 times better than it was, but I don't think it's as good as it could be. But let's face it, this is just going to be a beater all-terrain vehicle. When you start messing with welded shifters or, you know, Mickey Mouse shifters like that, you know, they're never going to be perfect. So unless I want to tear the engine apart and fix the shifter. Also, somebody messed with the clutch. I tried to adjust the automatic clutch and it would not take an adjustment. So in my opinion, somebody was in there and boogered up some stuff. So for a rat all-terrain vehicle, I'm going to go with it's about perfect. For I want to restore it and make it better, I got to take the engine apart and fix a couple of things and, you know, swap some things around. You guys see it moving a little bit. That's because it's in gear. I'm letting it burn the last of the gasoline off. It's also not good to have wires up against the engine melting like that is. There we go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Do remember, it's going to be cold this weekend, so you might get a video on some more buried treasure from my basement. I found another couple of interesting things down there that you guys haven't seen, so I might just pop a video up on that. Okay, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Even if it's cold, you don't know how many you're going to get, so get out there and have some fun. Bye now.